Hello everyone, it's the Black Shadow here. Hope you're keeping yourselves fairly well. It's been a few months since the last time I did a video on this channel. It's been about 3 months, I think, since this went into effective hiatus. A combination of health and personal circumstances and being stuck on night shifts have all combined to basically bring content on this channel to a halt for the first time in a significant capacity since it started, basically. I've also been away from the country. I've been away from home for a little bit as well, which has given me a lot of a chance to kind of spend some time kind of thinking about myself, thinking about where I am, thinking about what the channel is, where I am kind of looking to go forward with stuff, and where things might lead. First, I do want to say a huge thanks to everyone that has spent time over the past couple of months maybe watching some of my old archived library stuff. There is a lot of it. Also to those as well that have left comments, have popped into the Discord server from time to time, and for folks as well that have continued to contribute bits and pieces over on the channel Discord. I'll be talking about the Patreon even, I should say. I will be talking a bit more about that in a moment. I am incredibly grateful. The TLDR of this video is that we're not closing, and that there are plans reasonably soon to start getting content going in some form. But, and yes, there has to be a but here. This channel's come a long way, and I've come a long way since I begun this. And I'm giving you a little bit of behind the scenes access to some channel bits and pieces here. This is where we started. October 25th, 2011, with my first ever series playing Resident Evil Director's Cut on EPSXE. This was where the channel began. Young Black Shadow of about, I don't know, I was like maybe 19 at the time, 18, something like that. Maybe not even that. Coming out of the back end of college, a breakup in a relationship, and having a lot of time not really knowing what to do with it. Not in the best of places mentally, and I found solace in what I had found solace for a lot of my life, and that was video gaming. And this was where we started. This entire series was published and uploaded over the course of about 4 or 5 days. This is what you do at the start of challenge. You just get content going, you flood the system, and you get a library up and running so people can go ahead and watch you and get notified. And the channel's come a long way since then. We have covered so much stuff, from horror to comedy. We've done community stuff, like pretty much everything you can think of. Like, we've covered over the course of some 14 years nearly, which is frightening. And yeah, the YouTube channel has a bucket of content on it. There are thousands of videos. I think it's about like 5,500 videos I've uploaded over the course of the time on this channel, which is an insane number. And I'm very proud of the work that has been put into this. I'm very proud of what I've been able to achieve and accomplish, and what I've managed to get out of it on a personal level. Then I got to thinking about when was like the high time for this channel over that time, because this was very much, I was just kind of doing it and seeing where it would kind of lead, and get to meet some folks and that. I think very much the peak time for this channel is going towards 2020, going to 2021. Just a little bit of kind of the various guides. So this is where I was just coming out and doing State of Decay 2, which was a bit of a wild adventure, but one I quite enjoy. It's one I don't remember very well, actually. We had some really fun stories in this playing single player, and I would encourage. I might even go and have a look at that at some point, just to remember what the hell the stuff going on. There was some crazy things that happened there. But we got into playing Dark Cloud Blind, which was a series that was a suggestion from Starfruit that was sponsored, which was very fun. I played the sequel, Dark Chronicle, Dark Cloud 2, many years back. Never played the original, though, and that was a lot of fun to delve into. But very much the channel hit like real ground here as we got into 2020. Of course, this goes into the world of getting into COVID and lockdown. So, of course, this entire industry had a bit of a boom period because people were stuck at home, social distancing, and people on the internet the whole time and stuff like that. So people needed stuff to do. And this very much definitely was the boom time here, doing like our randomizer mods for Remake, the Resident Evil 6 co-op series that I did with the dearly departed CM Frui. who did a ton of work on this on the editing side. I'm very, very grateful that he did all the work for that on that side, and he had a lot of fun doing it. And then we got into Resident Evil Remake 2 as well, which I still stand is, I think, the best series that I've ever recorded on this channel in terms of quality, in terms of kind of viewership, in feedback, and very much stands as kind of like, I think, my own personal magnum opus of this channel. We then got into like Resident Evil Resistance, which while the videos on YouTube never got a ton of views, we was doing Twitch streaming and still remains the highest viewed thing I've ever done on Twitch. Some streams we're getting close to about 100 people watching those streams, which is like wild. And then getting into, we did GTA 4. Again, this is going towards the winter time of that, and put a lot of effort into that one as well. And then we kind of stretched into doing Parasite Eve 2, something I'd always wanted to do. Funky series, it was a lot of fun. DMC there. And then we got into 2021, so I covered Resident Evil 7 for the first time. I'd never played it. We did Dead Space, first time I'd ever played it. Kessen 2 was a lot of fun. That was a request from Blue 3, just a wild series. The RTK series that went on going for a long time with Alonzo Ryan, which never got finished, sadly. And then we did Resident Evil Village going into 2021, into the summer. And this is very much where the peak period ended. This went into the summer. COVID and social distancing came away. Life kind of resumed as per normal. I had moved over the course of this time as well into Staffordshire, and then I went and then had to get back into proper employment. And also in the midst of doing this, I was then doing my work as well with Hidden Assets, which is still ongoing at the moment, organising tournaments, and I simply didn't have anywhere near as much time to do channel stuff as well. And that's the way it goes. Like, when I put this channel together, it was the whole idea and hope was that I would, I wanted to just make something out of it. I wanted to have some fun. I wanted to be able to broadcast this stuff and record it and share my thoughts and feelings and meet some good people on the way. And I managed to achieve that. I don't know if I ever sat and really thought that realistically I'd be in a situation where I could do this and have it be like my primary job and like make an actual living out of it. But I will say that there were some months that are better than others, and certainly doing stuff like the raffles on sort of like September and October paid some decent money, and for like those 2 or 3 months, like I was making enough money to basically, that was my living, and I could do that. Which is incredibly insane, and I'm incredibly grateful that I was able to make that happen. But life overtook, work commitments happened. Then, after about a year that finished, I then had to move twice in about 3 months, and both the living circumstances that I moved into were challenging for creating content. That's not a knock on either the people that I stayed with, it was just the circumstances that we had. And as time was eaten away by various other projects, it wasn't being put into this, and of course any momentum I had basically come to more or less to a halt. And then we get, of course, to about now, where of course we haven't uploaded anything since the middle of February, and that brings us to here. So what's my point in talking about this? The point in talking about this is that, as far as the YouTube's concerned, I don't think it's ever going to have the amount of activity that it had in the previous. Like, I had a period of like several years where I would do a video a day. But the reason for that largely is because I wasn't in work, or I was kind of working part-time. So I was able to do that. That's not my life situation anymore. My situation is that I'm in, doing like 12-hour shifts and stuff like that. And it means that, and also with other things that I do as well, like, my hand's in several pies at this point, and so I can't commit to this as hard as I would like to, or have been. As far as the YouTube's concerned as well, like, I've never made a penny out of YouTube. I've never charged anything for any of the videos on this. That was a personal decision. If I'd have monetized this from like as soon as I could have done, I might have made like a couple grand out of it, and that would have been nice, but I was never the biggest fan of having ads on videos, and I never enjoyed it as a viewing experience, and thus I never wanted to impart it upon other people, and I thought it'd always be nicer just to have these continuous videos. You don't have to wear ads. You can sit down for 30 minutes, have a watch, and just lie back, relax, and not have to worry about clicking skip ads button every like 10 minutes unless you've got premium or an ad blocker. So it means that as far as the YouTube's concerned, there's going to be probably infrequent series, but when I do content, it's probably going to be stream related over on our Twitch channel at Black Shadow 993. This also hasn't seen any activity for the past couple of months or so as well. But I am coming off of night shifts, finally. In the next few weeks or so, that will be a thing that will be occurring. I don't have an exact date yet. There's a couple of things that have got to be worked out in between. But going into June, maybe sort of back end of June, going into July, at some point that I will be coming off to night shifts and being on to days. Just that alone, and then having my own place means that I will be able to do content. But the content, I think, is going to be largely stream-based. I think part of me does enjoy doing the Twitch streaming more. I mean, the two are different. This is very much kind of, the one-to-one kind of content, with me, with you, the viewer. And this is very much doing the content, but in a group setting with live feedback. And some people have preferences for that. But I think unless things change, the YouTube is probably going to be a couple of series drop out here and there. Still things that are like really big releases, and things that I want to cover, I will do as a YouTube series. So, things like Resident Evil 9 when that comes out. The next Silent Hill remake probably will be done as this as well, because I prefer those in this kind of intimate setting. Also, any passion projects that come out as well. We talked about this a lot in this update video. Like I went and outlined a whole bunch of different types of games and stuff that I would want to cover, and I do want to cover them. But doing them all as YouTube series is not particularly practical, and is very time intensive, quite frankly, and that is something that I have to manage a bit more better now. So, like when the next Troubleshooter comes out, Troubleshooter 2, I did a series of that a little while back, but that's something that I will want to cover as a YouTube series. I don't expect to get a ton of views or anything like that, but it's basically a passion project and something that I want to really enjoy and want to show the world what it is and that you can enjoy it too and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of how things are going to be probably looking. The plan is probably going to be to try to do about a stream a week on Twitch. I think that's achievable. I think that's not outrageous. What day of the week that might be, we'll see how that plays out. My schedule is still quite flexed and variable, but trying to outline like a stream a week is not an outrageous task. That can still be combined with the time I spend on hidden assets, anything else that I do in my own personal life, at least for the time being. And what I'll do is once I have that form properly confirmed, I will do an update video again, probably at the start of June, giving more details of what we're actually going to be doing. One other thing I want to make a quick mention of before I end this video, because I do need to get into doing something, is I want to make a mention about the channel Patreon here that I have been running for a while now. Understandably, and makes sense, several people, of course, cancelled the memberships over the course of the past several months. There's been no activity. I've got no complaints, anything about that. I am considering at this point completely scrapping this Patreon. This was initially a tool that I was using basically to help keep the channel be self-sufficient in times where I wasn't particularly in work, and a way for people to make those sort of contributions. It has served a fantastic purpose over the course of that time, and I'm very grateful for that it's been able to do that. But at this point, it's just kind of sitting there, and to be honest, stuff with like the tiers and like the membership stuff all do. Like outside of that and that, realistically, I don't think a whole lot is achieved. Like I haven't done this stuff in a long time, quite frankly, and these probably shouldn't exist. And that's me being brutally honest. I will probably keep this up, the LP series request to do as per streams and series. I will maintain this because that is still a good way for me to get doing stuff that I wouldn't do normally. And it's a one-off pledge, ultimately, and so it doesn't need to be a continuous thing. But this is going to be at the very least adjusted, if not outright scrapped. I have not made a firm decision on that, but we'll see how we go. I do have a couple of requests that are still outstanding. One that has been paid for, and one that has been mood about paying for it, and would be something that I will probably be doing quite possibly as my first stream back as well. It'll be a really, really fun title to get my teeth into. But yeah, for those that have supported over the course of time, again, I really do appreciate it. But I don't know if this is going to continue. That's something that I have yet to make a full decision on. Anyways, that's going to do it for this here. So yeah, thank you for listening. I am still alive, subject to, provisional circumstances. we'll see how things progress. But hopefully you guys are enjoying your time away. I am sorry for those that have been following a lot of the content. Obviously tuning in, we're hoping to see more stuff come along. The past 6 months has had a significant impact on a lot of things on my life. More than I expected. More than I'd hoped for. The way things go sometimes. But the light does exist at the end of the tunnel. But the focus on what the content's going to be and how it will be done has got to be shifted for just realistic purposes. We'll see how things look in a couple of weeks. Thanks for listening, everyone. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.